Hello crafty friends, my name's Alicia, but you can call me Crafty Al. And in today's video, I'm going to be making a nautical themed wreath card for the May 2026 Oh So Inspired collaboration hop. Welcome, or perhaps welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here today. Each month, I get together with a group of talented artists for the Oh So Inspired collaboration hop. We take the same original inspiration piece and create something new based upon it. As you hop along today, you might see somebody use the layout from the original card, maybe the color palette, maybe the theme. This is just a hop to show you that no matter your skill level, your style, your favorite medium, that we can always inspire and be inspired by others. To see what everyone else created today, make sure to check out this month's playlist, which is linked toward the top of the description box below, and I'll also have it as an end card at the end of this video. I always love to hop along and just see everybody's takes on that original piece. And speaking of that, for May 2026, we were all inspired by the card up on screen now. It was created by Lisa, who is at I'm in Haven over on Instagram. You can find a link to this card and Lisa's Instagram account down in the description box below. I hope that not only will you leave some love for the designers along today's hop, but that you'll also go visit Lisa's Instagram account and leave some love for her. It is chock full of inspiring cards, so I know you're going to want to give her a follow if you don't already. Some of the things that caught my eye about Lisa's card was the fact it was a square, which I rarely do, so I was going to step outside my box. I also loved how she made the wreath out of individually die-cut pieces and the color palette. You know that I love a good color combo. One thing I am going to change is the color palette, and I decided that I would randomly choose a color cube card. So I went to random.org and it had me pick number 27 for today, which is this fun sandy beach card. My original plan was to also use branches like Lisa had, but as I was looking for different branch dies within my die sets, I stumbled across this nautical set which had a piece of coral that I thought would be great for the size of the wreath I needed, and it kind of went with the theme of the color cube card. I brought out my cardstock swatch and I ended up choosing the 5 colors that are listed up on screen now, which are all from Tailored Expressions. The last 2 colors, the blues, are what you previously saw me ink blend this panel that was embossed and distressed. Now I'm going to use the coral die and cut it 4 times from each of those 5 colors. So far I haven't told you much about the process, but now I'm going to slow it down a bit. I knew ahead of time that I wanted to die cut a circle that I could build my wreath around, but I wasn't sure how I would divide it into quarters so I could have a nice equal distance all the way around. So I created this SVG file, which this is a 3.5 inch circle, and there are little tick marks at every quarter arc around the outside. What I'm going to do is grab 2 of the first color in the series, and for me that will be the Oyster coral, and I am going to cover up the semicircle with the bottom of the coral, kind of curve it around the circle and figure out a point that I would like to line up on the edge. So for instance, that's that little point right here. In case you need to see that a little better, I am going to show you with one of the darker brown pieces just for a little bit more contrast. For right now, because I need to slip additional coral in behind the ones I place, I am just adding glue to the very bottom left side of the piece of coral, and the liquid glue allows me time to get it set and arranged just right, and then I'll hold that in place for like 5 seconds or so. Then I'm going to take the second light gray piece and move around the circle to the other little hatch mark and do the same thing. I cover up the bottom of the circle indentation with the bottom of the coral and make sure that that one little piece on the die cut is aligned with the edge of the circle. The 2 remaining light gray coral pieces get added in the same exact way, and now I have my circle divided evenly into quarters. What I do next is play around with the placement of the corals that go between each of the gray ones. And I do want to make sure I'm going in the same order the whole time, so that's why they are up above me in little piles. Now this first time when I got to the final one, the dark brown, there was a little too much space there. So I knew that when I glued it, I had to move each of the ones I had already placed just a little bit further away from the one before it. And because I only glued down that little bitty bit at the bottom, I can easily add in the next one and just tuck it right in there. You can always adjust the spacing for however many pieces you have going around the outside of your circle or the size of it. Just find what works best, and once you have that first quarter done, then you can just repeat the same steps between each of the other gray pieces. And while I work on that, I wanted to tell you about a special member bonus if you would like to create your own wreath card like I have. I have an SVG file that I will be sharing later today over on the membership tab, and it will also be archived on the monthly member blog. This has a 3.5-inch circle with those tick marks. You can always resize it for a different size card, and I also have 2 sentiments to go with it. Originally, I was going to make a hello card, but because I decided to go nautical, I also added Ahoy. So make sure to check out the membership tab, and if you're not already a member, click on the join button below this video to find out more. Here's a look at my finished wreath, and I have to say I kind of wowed myself. If you think this is pretty cool, please give this video a thumbs up. Now I did decide I wanted to leave the outside of the coral pieces loose so there was lots of texture, but to help hold them in place a little bit more, I did go ahead and put a dot of glue on the inside underneath one of the little branches. Before I continue on with the process, I would like to invite you to be inspired by Lisa's card. If you do play along, please use the hashtags that are up on screen now when you share on social media. I also have a specific monthly one down in the description box below. And if you're a member of my Facebook group, look for an album with this image as the cover and you can share your creation there. Now that all of the pieces of the card were ready, I did some auditioning to kind of figure out where I wanted everything to go, and it was at this point where I knew I needed to do something to the Ahoy shadow to make it stand out a little bit more from the background. So to do this, I brought in my Latte ink pad, and I'm going to ink blend that Ahoy shadow. I did a light layer over the entire die cut piece, and then I did some extra ink blending toward the bottom, just making it kind of an ombre from dark to light, bottom to top. I did let that ink blending dry just a little bit before I brought in the Ahoy and added that to the shadow with liquid glue. If you do download this, when you go to place this, you'll just want to try to get a nice even border all the way around the edges. Off camera, I made a top fold 5-inch square card base. My original plan was to make this a 4¼ square card, but because of the size of the wreath, I had to go a little bit larger. I always do try to avoid sending square cards or square envelopes because they do cost more, but I knew that this size would fit inside 5x7 envelopes, which I do always keep some on hand here in my craft room, and later on in the video you will see me place this inside of one. I did decide at this point that I wanted something else besides just the Ahoy in the center of the wreath. So using that same underwater tunnel die set from Spellbinders, I cut the anchor from kind of a medium gray cardstock, and I'm going to be adding that as well. Before placing the Ahoy sentiment onto the wreath, I did add some foam tape to the center since the outside of the wreath was thicker because of all of the die cut pieces. Once that was in place, I figured out where I wanted the anchor to go, and I added liquid glue to the back of wherever it would touch the more raised portions of the wreath and the sentiment. To finish the card off, I wanted to add a little sparkle, so I brought in some holographic flat back sequins and added some around the sentiment. Now, if you do have any questions on what you saw me do on screen that I did not explain, make sure to leave those in the description box below. Here's a look at how easily this card will fit in a 5x7 envelope, and now let me show you some close-up looks at the finished card. I hope you enjoyed seeing how I was inspired by Lisa to create this nautical wreath card. If you did, as always, a thumbs up is appreciated. Now don't forget to go visit the rest of the artists on the hop by using the playlist linked in the description box below or the end card here in just a second. Until my next video, I hope you're all having a crafty day. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch all the way to the end of the video. I hope now you'll consider clicking on one of the videos or playlists I have linked above. And if you are interested in any of the products or tools I used in today's video, I do have some links in the description box below.